Hello, my name is Trydar. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build a set of Roman barracks in Minecraft. Let's get started. So previously I gave you a good set of walls for your Roman fort, but you may have noticed I gave you nothing for the interior, and that's because we're going to tackle that today in this episode here. We've got a number of sizes of Roman barracks. We've got some big ones right here in the middle and some smaller ones, 4 of those in the corners here for you to use, and an empty space here someday for the Principia build that we will do, the headquarters, and we'll add a statue and maybe some other things, and we'll build a bigger fort, and I'll include more buildings for that as we go along. But for today, the matter at hand is, of course, the barracks building, the fundamental structure we would need in a Roman fort. Of course, we have to house our troops and everything. So these buildings are, of course, modular, like most of my buildings. I've shown you the smaller buildings right here in the middle, but the middle can be stretched out, and a module can be added to give you a longer building, a longer, larger building, or a longer, medium-sized building here. So let's take a tour of our buildings. I mean, there's not a whole lot to see. I did do, you know, just some basics in here. I put down some beds and some chests and everything that you would want to have in your barracks. You can, if you want to use these structures for like other things that aren't barracks, you can of course use that. They can be more generic type of Roman structures, but we do have a nice wood roof, nice checkerboard stone floor, and everything. Of course, Roman barracks tend to be somewhat Spartan structures, so we don't have any glass in here. Too expensive. We have just some fences for those, and some plain doors and everything. Not too bad. If you want perhaps a bigger barracks building, or perhaps a building for the fort commander to live in, depending on the size of the fort, he might have a nicer house than this. This should be a good place, perhaps if you need an infirmary building or a storage building or something like that. You can of course use that. And as I remarked, we can split the building in twain and add this structure here in the middle, which is just taking the patterns that we built and just expanding them out to one side or the other to get the patterns that we need for the larger building here. If we wanted to make one of those in here, we could, using that. Most things in here, the patterns for like the floors and the walls are pretty easy to do. Sometimes the pattern for the coffers and the ceiling doesn't quite work out, and we end up with like a double beam in certain situations. So you might want to hide that on the end of the building, though. But I will leave that up to you. However you best choose to do that. Let's take a look at the medium-sized building here. It's a little bit easier to do. It's a bit more cleaner with its module here. Now if we take a look at that here, I think the pattern, it works out lengthways, but it doesn't work out in the width. We only have just 1 by 1. It'd look a lot cleaner if we just had 2 by 2s, but the size of the structure doesn't call for that. For this, I suppose if you wanted to make it 1 block wider in the middle, you could do that, but then you would end up with an even number on your roof, which would mess up the roof. So, you know, it's just one of those things, you know, Minecraft. We have to make trade-offs for things now and then. So I've already given you the materials list to start with. And in those, there's also the materials for the module. We're going to take a look at the small barracks first, and then the big one around back there, and then we'll take a brief look at the modules there. I didn't break down the modules because they're just extensions of the central patterns, like I said. So the first thing we want to do is make a big rectangle of cobblestone. We want to do that for however many blocks this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 blocks that way. And then counting this one here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 19, 20, May miscounted that. Try this on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, I was right. I want to give you the wrong number. Because these are foundational, we do need to make sure that we get the numbers correct. And you want to lay out a big rectangle of cobblestone of that dimension, and then go around all the four sides and put this little step curb of cobblestone slabs all the way around there. And on the interior, we want to do 1 block setback of cobblestone behind that, and then we want to do this checkerboard pattern here of cobblestone and tuff. I really like pairing tuff with cobblestone. It's just a little bit different. That'll give us a nice texture, but it's not too overwhelming of a texture. Just a simple workaday Roman floor. Suitable for barracks, I think. So the next step up from that is start building the building itself. And we can start on the corner here with a corner of tuff. And then we have the doorway here, a bit of diorite there, then some tuff, and some more diorite, some more tuff. You see how the pattern goes. Just like so. All the way down here. And then on the other end is just a mirror of that end down there. It's just like that. So that if, for the smaller building, if we split the building in twain this way, this end is going to be symmetrical to that end. It might not be symmetrical in the floor pattern. I think it probably is. So I'll give you a good top-down view of that, and we will be on our way to the next slice. So you already have the numbering for all this, so I'm just going to give you a quick view. All the patterns of this are very simple. It's just a rectangular build with different blocks here and there. Stone bricks, diorite, fences. Nothing too complicated. Some torches behind that, wherever you want to put those. I haven't included that in the list because I assume if you're building in survival, you're going to want to torch it up quite a bit to keep things from spawning inside of it. You don't want to have a zombie and skeleton barracks and creepers. That'd be really bad. Next slice up over here, starting at this corner by the doorway. A little tree trunk on its side there for the lintel of the doorway. And all these windows are going to be the same, just like so. And I didn't do the complex pattern with the 2-to-2 ratio with the cobble and the diorite for this, because the windows really break it up quite a bit. You can't really see the pattern. So next phase here. So I didn't feel it was necessary to include that. We're just banding cobblestone and stone bricks for this, because they are just barracks buildings. They're not meant to be too fancy, so we don't want to put just too much detail into them. I mean, we want to put enough detail into them, of course, but not too much. Because that is something you can do. You can put too much detail into a certain building. Next level up here, upside down stairs here. Or just some simple details over the windows. Just like so. Other end just the same as the front. And this end here just the same as the other side. So on top of that easy phase, put a big rectangle of diorite. And then put a big rectangle of cobblestone. And then face that with upside down stone bricks here for the entablature. Just like so. And on the inside, in a 1 to 2 ratio, we want to put upside down stone brick stairs here, because these are going to be the corbels to support our wooden beams going across for our ceiling and, of course, our roof. So we're starting the roof now here. Of course, we've got a couple of blocks here for the raking cornice of the building, and then we've got some half slabs here and diorite behind that to form our pediment, and, of course, the diorite is back here in the tympanum. All right, so we just want to do a straight run of cobblestone all the way across and do the back end just the same as the front. Both sides the same. And behind that, you want to lay down this pattern of red nether brick and half slabs of oak and oak beams. You know, because these things there are the half slabs. Then we've got, of course, the beams supporting the ceiling and the roof. So there's going to be a little bit of void space in our roof that's not big enough to be useful for anything. You can fill it in solid or just put down some porches or whatever you want to do. Here is the pattern for the front. If you've done any of my Roman structures, you can do this little simple pattern in your sleep. Just like so, die right behind that. And back over here, we have just the simple detailing for the roof tiles. Just alternating checkerboards of half slabs of deep slate tiles, or whether, no, that's what, polished blackstone tiles? I forget. And the red nether brick behind that. I think those two pair very nicely together to make nice Roman roof tiles. Just like so. Cobblestone down the middle. And next phase here, we're doing the same pattern again that we did on the previous phase. We're just shifting it up one block and shoving it over by 2 blocks. Like here, everything meeting in the middle. For the pediment and of course the roof tiles, all the same, just a repeating pattern for all of that. Next phase after that, everything meets at the top and we run a ridge line down the middle of cobblestone, just like so. We finish off our little Roman pediment here. And then on top of that, we just finish off the little pinnacle here. And then we just put what? We want to, I think these are half slabs. Yeah, we want to put some half slabs just straight down the middle for that there to finish that off, and that'll be your small barracks complete. A pretty simple Roman building. If you've done any of my other Roman tutorials, you'll recognize we're just copying and pasting and repurposing building motifs and patterns that we've done for previous things. Let's take a look at the module here. I didn't really break this one down because as you can see, the floor pattern just repeats. The wall pattern repeats again. The ceiling pattern repeats again. And the details for the roof are just stretched out into another section up here for that. So you can see over here where the original one had this little ridge down the middle here. You can see we now have 2 ridges down the middle here. So that'll help you stretch them out. And then you can, of course, add any number of modules you want. If for some reason you wanted to add like 50 modules and have it stretch off 1,000 blocks over into the distance, you could do that. I don't recommend you doing that because that's too big to be useful. But, you know, it is an option. But if you, of course, want to redecorate, play with the patterns, you are more than welcome to do that, as you always are. All right, so the dimensions for the next rectangle of cobblestone we want to lay out is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17 blocks that way. And then the lengthways is 1, 2, 3, 9, 12, 15, 15, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 blocks back this way. I think it's the same length as the short one. Was that 23 too? And behind that, you want to lay in another rectangle of cobblestone and then do the checkerboard pattern here of the cobblestone and the tuff. And then, of course, make a curve all the way around that of cobblestone slabs. And then that's the foundation done. We'll move on to the next phase here. Same details as before, just in a slightly different pattern. I think the main difference between this and the first building is that we have we sort of well, let's go back over here. For this one, we sort of copied and pasted. Instead of having our center line here, we moved it over and had it at the doorway here. So then we mirrored that entire thing on the left side over there, but then we just had to make a bigger roof and ceiling design and everything. But it's the same patterns that we just took a look at here. I'll just go over this quickly. You're just laying these out in 1 to 3 ratios for the most part. Just turning the corners there, the door on the other end, and the same pattern for that. Once you have done that, extend it all up with the same window design. All these windows are the same with the diorite and the fence and everything. and do stone bricks wherever there's not diorite. There, except for your doorway here. Next phase after that, we want to do the same detail for the windows again, except fill in with cobblestone where there were stone bricks, and we have, of course, the tree trunk here. Next phase after that, we have everything is just diorite and stone bricks there, finishing off the windows. Next phase is a big rectangle of cobblestone with the upside down stone brick stairs on top of all the diorite that we put in. Right there. Next phase after that, big rectangle of diorite. Then do a big rectangle of cobblestone. Face that for the entablature with upside down stairs. Big rectangle all around the exterior. On the interior, we of course want to do the 1 to 2 pattern with the corbels on the interior here with the upside down stone brick stairs. Next phase here, same details for the roof that we just did for the previous one, except we're just doing it further over, so we're going to have a bigger one to do. But it's not any different on the detailing that you just did on the small building. So I'll just show you that from the top down. Same detailing for the ceiling and everything. Just make that big square pattern with the 2x2 coffers. Fill those with the slabs, just like so. And then start extending up your roof. Same pattern that we did on the previous building. Just take another look at that here for the sake of completeness. Just build this again, 1 block up and 2 blocks farther over. Just like so. For all the roof, you want to do that again, 1 block up, 2 blocks farther over. 1 block up, 2 blocks farther over again, same patterns for the roof tiles. And over here, you can see, do that again. It'll start colliding in the middle, right along here with the cobblestone ridge line. And then add a final ridge line of cobblestone slabs. I think 2 stone brick slabs on the end there. And once you have done that, your large Roman barracks will be complete. And let's go over here and take a look at the module design for that. These are just very, very simple, rectangular, simple Roman buildings. So we've been able to go pretty fast in these because it's not very complicated at all compared to some of the previous things I've done. These should be pretty quick for you to throw together, I think. Now for this, I had to remark that this got a little messy because of the coffering. I was copying and pasting it. So if you want to, you could possibly knock this out and then put half slabs in there and just extend it out that way instead of doing it that way, if you want to. Just an option. But all the patterns, of course, are just the same. They're just stretched and extended. Same deal for the roof. There just ends up being, instead of 1 ridge line going down the middle of the building, if you want to build a larger one, you will have 3 ridge lines. If you include a second module, you will have a 3rd ridge line. If you include a 4th module, you have a 4th ridge line, and you can see where that's going and everything. So for the next one, I really don't know which building we're going to tackle next. It depends on which one I have done. Some of the larger buildings that go inside here need a bit more work. So it might be next week or so before those come out. We'll have to see. But that's going to conclude the Roman Barracks tutorial. Remember, everything's available for download in the video description, and I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.